So basically, that was sort of when people lost faith in the Red Cross. And we want this organization here tonight so that she can speak to you guys about how you can support.
Hi, my name is Constance. I'm a senior at Lincoln. And this translates into the idea of Pan-Africanism, but since this is not like a political event, we don't have to go into that. However, I just also wanted to highlight the role of Lincoln University in the world and how it's affected black people. And if you go to Lincoln and you took African American experience, same things I believe about Haiti is that it was the first independent country in the world, that first black independent. That's what I mean. Okay, so all the countries you know, all the 54 countries in Africa, any country that you know that is majority black, Haiti was the first one to ever be independent, except Ethiopia, because Ethiopia never really got colonized, so they're not independent. They've just been Ethiopia. So that's great. And after they gained independence, nations, not just black nations, even nations in Latin America and, for example, Venezuela, which they actually helped them gain independence. So things like that, they've always been reaching out to help other people. They even helped the good old United States in their fight for independence. At the time, although Haiti was not Haiti, it was, I don't know, it was a colony under France. But the money that France was gotten from the work that was done by the slaves in Haiti. And after they gained the independence, even the US, the Americas, if that has any impression to what slavery was like. So yeah, they did all of that, and they've kept helping and trying to reach out. They've been for 2012. They've been fighting and moving in motion to even join the African Union. That's how black they are, if that makes any sense. So we as black people in the world where there's almost no black person that can't say they haven't been oppressed before, again, except Ethiopia. Every other, there's chances are if you meet any random black person, their ancestors were oppressed by someone that is not of our skin tone. So in that kind of world, when you see someone that has paved the way for over 200 years in the run towards independence and all of that, I believe that they are a figure in the black community worldwide. So now that they are in a situation where they need help, instead of funding these organizations that really don't care, like Tasha pointed out, for example, the Red Cross, it's good that we come together as black people. And being students of HBCUs, we've learned so much about black excellence and Stella, and this could be perhaps where we start. But just reaching out to brothers and sisters they're just an island away from the US or even across the world or wherever. But I just wanted to point out these things that Haiti has done to us that is relevant to us as black people, to show that indeed those brothers and sisters, if it's not reason enough that they are black, what their ancestors did for our ancestors should be reason enough for us to want to support them.
That was just what Constance wanted to share with you guys, so that you understood the meaning and importance of being a part of the bigger picture and helping others, because it is, as soon as we are born, it is our duty, it is our place to serve others and help others. So that's essentially the gist of this event and share this with you guys. So without further ado, Dr. Cupid would love to speak to you all. Dr. Cupid is one of the best people ever, and she works so hard for us, really. Without Dr. Cupid and Dr. T, I don't think do Dr. Cupid.
Hi, thank you as always. Thank you for coming. I want to thank our African Student Organization, our International Student Organization tonight. And I just wanted to reiterate, I guess, just in support of what Constance was saying, about how important it is that we support each other across the diaspora, across all of the different countries where we face trials and tribulations, struggles, fights, in human rights, civil rights, to be seen as people, and to just live for a good quality of life, right? So if we can help each other in that, then we don't have to do that. So tonight, I want to bring to you about making sure that they are able to get what they need after these disasters brought difficult times, very difficult times for them. Their beneficial. So, this is a woman who is a medical researcher by trade. But she does so much more in her spare time to help people. So as you can see, anybody who can get medicine usually they want to help and find ways to help people get medicine, right? And then in her free time, she's still helping people. When she could be resting, she could be vacationing, she could do whatever she wanted to. I've known her for, I don't know, like a really long time. Like, I don't know, I'll be aging myself if I say how long, but since we were like about this tall, about that tall, and not that much taller, but when we started at that tall, we were really young in elementary school. So she's been that kind of person and that kind of spirit ever since I've known her, and I'm really happy to bring her here to speak with you. She's located in Philadelphia right now, so if anybody is interested in connecting with her, doing any kind of work to help Haiti, or just get more information, she is a resource that's not too far. Rachel,
very long time. Her dad is like a second dad to me, so yeah, I'm really happy to be here. So again, my name is Rachel Augustin, Rachel Augustin, they say, and I think Constance left, but so I'm just gonna start by just giving you an idea, and I really like her intro about us, how we help each other, what we call our island. And growing up, I came here when I was 5 years old with my parents, so we immigrated from from Haiti to the U.S. One of the things when I was growing up, little people they would make fun of me. And you know, when you're a little kid and peer pressure, bullying. So I got made fun of a lot for being who I am. And I looked the part at that time. I had my hair in ribbons. I looked like I was fresh off the boat. So I was a fob. It wasn't, also too, when we left my grandparents. A lot of my mother's family was living in a place, so that's how they had discovered we were digging the foundation. So they then decided to put down sort of a memorial to these individuals, these lost these souls there that were buried. My cousin, as we were when just showing him around Manhattan, we came upon this burial ground, and they had names like Erzuli. And he's like, oh, Erzuli, and then there were the different symbols, and he recognized that. And at that moment, that really solidified for me that we are one people in the diaspora. We are not Africans from Africa. We are not these people, Africans who might have immigrated to places in Europe, like Afro-Jamaicans. We're not African Americans. We all have that one lineage. And that the fact that for someone who had never stepped foot in America, to recognize that symbol, and for me who had been living here for some time, and also too for people who are raised here for generations, African Americans, not realizing that connection to our past, that was very deep, and it had a big impact on me. And it really made me recognize and made me really understand the reason why I would continue to fight for Haitians, and not just Haiti, but for anyone who was part of our African diaspora. As I mentioned before, I went to Haiti with my cousin for the first time, and really it was more of me wanting to reconnect with my past, reconnect with my family members that were there. When we went, I cried a lot. I saw a lot of family that I hadn't seen in years and years. I also cried because it was right after the earthquake in 2010. So there was a lot of devastation that was still going on. It was not the place that at least my parents remember when they had left, and it was also not the place, even though I was little, that I could remember certain things. Port-au-Prince, the capital city of Haiti, was in ruins. It looked like they dropped a bomb, and that was it. There were people. There were rocks in the rubbish. I would say as tall as I am or taller. There was what they think of sewers. They didn't really have sewers. It was like some of the water that was running sort of in I'm thinking in Creole now. But some of the water, like sort of like the sewage water, it was just littered. It was just littered with just whatever garbage, and because they don't have a really proper sanitation system. There was also people cooking and doing stuff on top of this rubble, on top of this garbage. The money, we call it good. It's called the Haitian good. So it was more devalued than the dollar. So, and people were sometimes saying, let's use the Haitian dollar. Um, the cars, the cars. So we call it like a really bad a lemon car. We call it a Bogota. So the cars that people were driving, like you could see here, it was like a Flintstones car, and that was like a BMW for some people. Um, the sort of the wealthier people, they had these really beautiful, like there were some places that could rival, like some homes I saw that could rival places in the U.S. But the thing is they felt like they were living in a prison because you had these big walls around their property and then the guardrail. I mean, that's not really a way to live. Um, some of the kids were not in school because you need to wear uniforms to go to school. Some of my family members, they would live, everyone double up. They would live in, this section. They would have share a bed or two beds. One of my cousins and her little daughter, they shared a bedroom, and that was their home. And then they would eat out in sort of the little courtyard, and then with other family members. So everyone was there. Some people would sleep on the roof of the house where they had, or depending on what the condition of the house was. To go to, and I don't have. If I had sort of map, but so Haiti shares the same island. It's called the island of Hispaniola. I don't know if Constance mentioned that it was discovered in quotation by Christopher Columbus in around 1492, in his way to try to find India. So they call it the island of Haiti, or they would call it Hispaniola. I think that the island was divided in half. We got a third, and Dominican Republic got 2/3 of the island with the Treaty of Brunswick. With all the events that were happening in Europe at the time, particularly in France, with the rights of man, if you ever seen difference in what we're here in the U.S. is cotton plantations, we're talking about the sugar plantations. So they would go um, they heard about the rights of man, and all of that. And so they took those teachings about égalité, fraternité. It was one more equality, brotherhood, and took that back. And two of them, Auger and Chavon, they were quartered because of they were mulattoes, they were quartered. So the Africans weren't even part of that. Uh, the it wasn't until later there was someone called Toussaint, and I say someone like but he's a big somebody. To me, I'm very proud to say to have black founding fathers, and it's not just for Haiti, it's for everyone. These are men who they were in their 30s and 40s and 20s. They risked their our age. They risked their lives and died for this cause. Toussaint died in prison in France. Jean-Jacques Dessalines, his second in command, took charge. Jean-Jacques Dessalines in 1804, he took the French flag, cut it, and said, you know what, this is our country. He said that basically in English, sort of like, this is the land is free. So we were and I think Constance said it right, we were the first independent, free country in the world. The reason why I say that, and I know that in terms of historical, chronologically, we come second to the U.S., but always know this, that Haiti was the first one that we were free. We were actually free. We weren't called 3/5 of a man. We weren't half of the population. We were a free country. And it was everyone come in because no matter your race, you were considered Negro or black. They call them negs. We had to pay France for our freedom. I think that's, and the reason why I'm sort of rehashing this, I think it's important to sort of understand where we are now. We have to pay France for our freedom. So it was a price for that. So inflation dollars, you're talking about quite a lot. We had to pay for that. We were there were sanctions against us because of that. Napoleon valued Haiti so much that he sold the Louisiana territory so he can pay for the fight to get Haiti back. That was to him in terms of the profit that he was making. Because of, I remember I said Toussaint, there was a ceremony, they call it ceremony La Boacarman, and what that ceremony was. So we're always tied with voodoo in Haiti. And voodoo, oh, there's the devil and evil. Remember I said my cousin knew Erzuli. Erzuli was that connection, that spirituality that our African ancestors are brought with them. When they were enslaved, they brought that with them. So that was something that, even though they had their hair shaved, they had everything shaved and taken from them, they weren't shackled, they kept that. They kept some of the language. Even some of the words we speak in, some of my family members were better able to convey that. Some of the words we speak in our Creole language have connections back to the past. So voodoo to us was that spiritual religion. It's more about spirituality. It was that connection. They said that, and particularly when after the earthquake in Haiti, they being a lot of evangelicals, in particular the 700 Club, they said that Haiti, it was sort of what we got because of we get the right to live. A lot of to this day, after that, we got our freedom.
What I gained from this event is that Haiti needs our help. Red Cross has failed to help them, and that we should all stick together to help them.